First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
Brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, let's start with Cochise County football.
Yes, and before I talk about tonight's game, we got to talk about last Friday. You had your debut as a football announcer, and you got good creds on it.
I think I did okay. I mean, I basically just hung out with my buddy the sheriff, and we talked about the game.
We did, and we had a little technical issues, and Val brought it through, and it's really fortunate you were there because you helped us get us through that moment, but I talked a lot that night.
Yeah, you did.
Like 3.5 hours I spoke, and I kept looking at Grady. Speak.
I said a few things. You
did really well, so congratulations on that. But tonight we're going to be back normal tonight. Jeff will be with us tonight. Back at Buena, they'll be hosting the Saguaro Cougars from Tucson, a 4A school. Saguaro, again, not a real tough program. Buena should do well. They got some pretty good athletes in that lineup this year, so they should do well and come away with a win tonight. But we're going to be hosting the Buena game. They're hosting Saguaro. Pre-game's at 6:30, kickoff at 7.
And also, did you notice anything different about the studio this morning?
I noticed you've been damaged.
Yeah.
The studio's
Is it criminal damage?
It's criminal.
Oh,
yes.
no.
I think civil, too. We'll take them all, every legal aspect. I walk in this morning, and I look and say, what is this? And there's a sticker, and it says Sierra Vista Police Department.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. So I'm covered. It's covered up. All you guys listen on Sierra Vista PD, it's covered up right now. I'll get some spray paint or something. We'll take care of that. But so I got the message, guys. I see it.
They were in here and they were talking about, look at all the sheriff stuff that's up on the walls. And then all of a sudden I saw them like just goofing around over there by where you usually sit. And then when they left, I saw what they had done.
Oh, trust me, this is just the first step. There'll be a second step to walk this journey with their little patch. So, guys, when you come back in the studio, you'll see a little more CCSO swag.
I see. So they've started something. Is that what you're saying?
They truly have.
And we do have photos that could be incriminating to them, just saying.
Carol just showed me one. One of their sergeants standing in front of the proud
Cochise County flag.
Yes. So, yes, that'll get out there, I'm sure.
That's pretty fun. Well, let's talk about some other fun stuff. The Rex Allen Day Parade.
Great parade. Thanks to my team that was up there with me. A lot of kiddos up there. A lot of people showed up. Candy everywhere. Smiles, wave. I mean, it's nice to see our communities come together here in the fall. And great event. We had the jumping castle up at the park the rest of the day. And it was just a great Rex Allen Day weekend for everybody.
And there's a lot of events like that going on countywide. So that was last weekend. And this weekend, or tomorrow, we're going to have Butterfield Days up in Benson.
Butterfield, yes. And their parade is Saturday morning. We'll be involved in that. Kicks off at 9 o'clock, is it, Carol?
Correct.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. Great little parade, too. And the people just come out for these parades. And then they have events going on all weekend up there. And also tomorrow is Cars for Kids at the Veterans Park, which is a huge event. 300 cars. I mean, it's just so much going on right now in the fall, but it's great weather.
El Dorado Days are next weekend as well.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes. 23rd.
Okay.
23rd.
And their parade's on a Sunday. It
Correct.
throws a lot of people off. And their parade, is it the 23rd? I think
it's the 23rd.
Yeah, and their parade's on the Sunday, and it's just, they do things a little bit different. They have a lot of parades in Tombstone. If you're ever bored, you can always go over there. There's usually a parade. But, yes, El Dorado's a great weekend over there, too.
And then also, we just had an event that was canceled that they're trying to reschedule, I guess, and that's National Night Out.
Yeah, Mother Nature put a stain on that, and a lot of rain. It's amazing the rain we've got this week. I'm a little shocked on that, but so they canceled, and I get it. And people don't want to come out when it's all wet and muddy, and that's a choice the Sierra Vista Police Department made. I respect that, but I know they're working on rescheduling, and they'll get that out to you all real soon. But we'll have a National Night Out because I know it's a great community event.
And, during the preparations for that, with all of the rain and the mud and everything else, people probably noticed that we put a notification on our social media about an incident involving the sheriff's office, a sheriff's deputy. So we had a report of a subject with a knife in the Whetstone area, and so subsequently we had what was reported as an officer-involved shooting or deputy-involved shooting.
We do, and my commitment as a sheriff is to be transparent. We don't want to hinder investigations. We don't want to hinder our victims. We want to protect them. And again, we want to protect the integrity of an investigation. But we also want to let people know what's going on. We did. We had a call of a trespass. Deputies responded by the time they got there. The individual had left the scene, located not far from the scene where the trespass occurred. He had a large knife with him. He was very confrontational with the deputies, very resistant, refused commands by the deputies. I listened to some of this when it first initiated. I commend my staff for their patience. I mean, we didn't go in there guns a-blazing, I can promise you. We did everything we could. Deputy did fire his weapon. Subject was taken into custody. He is released from the hospital and is in our jail. And again, I don't want to talk a whole lot. I'm not trying to hide anything, but this is still under investigation. The interviews are still going and stuff. But again, this was a situation, and people say, I've saw some of the social media comments. Folks, trust we're going to do the right thing. And we've have our critical response team from multi-agencies coming out. Service to PD's leading that one for us to look, investigate. I know they've spoke to all my deputies. I think we had 4 or 5 deputies on scene to this. My biggest concern is the welfare of my employees. The men and women, they went home safe. That's what this is all about. If there's a procedure that wasn't followed or if they did something wrong, that'll be addressed. Don't get me wrong. But most important, nobody was hurt. Nobody, especially my folks. So, again, this is still an investigation. I can't say a whole lot about it. But, yeah, as that comes forward, we'll add more information. Right now, I haven't seen the final report.
And continuing on being transparent at the Sheriff's Office, we're doing a jail district committee, which is to inform the public everything we need to know about the jail district going forward, including a possible brand new jail.
Yes, and that seems like that's the direction we're going. I'm hearing really good things. And when I say good things, it's time. We need a new jail. So my opinion has never been one that you have to try to figure out. We need a new jail. Jails last 20 years. This one's been almost in business for almost 40 years, so it's time. And so I think they got 1 or 2 meetings left. We got one today, and then possibly one more next Friday. And then they're going to make a consensus vote to say, yeah, we need a new jail, a remodel, repair. But we all know, after what I've heard, what I've seen, it's going to be a rebuild. So, and rightfully so for industry standards. So again, we should be having that answer to the public here real soon, which is going to trigger a lot of positive things to get this jail built.
And also, if you want to follow the proceedings, you can follow that at cochise.az.gov. There is a meeting today. And then also all of the past meetings are on there as well. You can also go to the Sheriff's Office Facebook page, scroll down a little bit. I think there's one specific post for all of the past meetings so you can catch up so you're not left behind if you want to find out what's happening with the Jail District Committee.
Right, and so that's really a good way to get involved with what's going on with the Sheriff's Office, because that's a huge project that we are working on.
It is, and it's a collective project with community, because the jail's owned by the community. We must never forget that. They own this jail, so we want to make sure we are transparent in our operation, along with our county administrator and the team over there. So, again, I'm very happy with where we're going so far.
And there's also a luncheon. Sulphur Springs Valley Electric, need to give them a huge shout out because they are our sponsor for this show, but they do a lot of great things in all of Cochise County, in every single community.
I had a lot of time talking to them at the fair. Today they're having their community luncheon. They've had them in Benson, Wilcox, and today is in Sierra Vista. And so I'll be at that here for the lunch. It's free. I'm just kidding, everyone. But it truly is. It's free. But it's SSVC's way of giving back to the community for these community luncheons to talk about what's going on, what's happened over the year with them. And just like the city does and other organizations, we do at the Sheriff's Office. So I'm excited to go to that and hear what's going on at SSVC.
There's also some questions about the large containers that are going to be placed near the border. Can you enlighten us on that?
Can't say a whole lot about it, but I can say this much. I have been in deep discussions with the governor, his team, DEMA, which is Department of Emergency Military Affairs. So we've worked very close. These containers, it's temporary. They're staged out there in the Whetstone area. That's only a temporary location for them. Within 30 to 90 days window, they're going to be out of there. They're already moving them south. It is part of a border security project initiated by the governor. Again, I'm not going to speak beyond that because that's his program. And out of respect for our governor, I'll let him come out. I've asked for a public service announcement to our community from the governor's office, working with our office. So hopefully we'll see some, maybe even today. That's kind of the thought we had when I talked to them earlier in the week was we get something out by Friday. So hopefully we'll see something today that we can enlighten our people. I mean, it shouldn't be a secret what we're doing down here, but I understand some of the logistics they're dealing with too.
And speaking on borders, we have some border updates.
We do. Our new criminal interdiction team, which is a interdiction team for smuggling and crime, this is their second week, moving into the third week here. They've arrested 18 people. They've seized cocaine. They've seized meth. They are doing a really, really good job. So kudos to those handful, that young squad of deputies that are just really energized. I worked with them a couple nights ago, and they're just doing the right thing to make that difference. And that's a directed enforcement team. So they're directed right toward the smuggling. You hear them all. In fact, coming over here now, before I got here, they were in a pursuit. So again, it's amazing the impact they're doing such a short amount of time. So I wish them well. Second is, from January till just this week, we've arrested 926 border-related suspects in our jail. That number is increasing quickly. It is. The new case law for smuggling is in effect. Went in effect last week, and that's a Class 2 felony. We talked about it last week. I'll say it again. We're putting people in jail for that, folks. If you come down here and you smuggle, I stopped a car yesterday, female out of Phoenix, that driving not her car. She says her boyfriend's car, going to Douglas to pick him up, had no clue how he got here, how he was down here. Found out later he was arrested while he was here. So it just goes back is we're not a destination of crime. We're a destination of vacation. So if you're going to come here, enjoy it, but don't break the laws here.
And we're going to have to come up with some marketing talent on that particular thing to specifically get to the more metropolitan areas in Phoenix and Tucson, working with the county attorney's office to see what we can use as far as, the very first day that the law was implemented, 6 arrests, the very first day. So if we could use some of that information and just relate 2323 is not the place to be. So not in Cochise County. We just don't want that to happen here.
Right. And I keep saying, I tell everybody, I told this person yesterday, listen, we're a beautiful county for a vacation, but we're not a beautiful county. Come down and commit crime. Go back. And but they keep coming. They keep coming mainly because of the money, the profit they're making. And when you have questionable consequences for human smuggling, that the federal government may not charge you, and the odds are they won't. But we're waiting on our end too. So if we catch you smuggling, you will be charged. I promise you. And thanks to Brian McIntyre, our county attorney, you will be prosecuted. So take that to heart.
And it is a beautiful county, and that's why we're having the Cochise County Sheriff Charity Ride, where you get to drive around the county and help raise money for 10 charities.
You do. We're getting a lot of hype on that. I'm hearing a lot of people. So this should be a huge event. Last year we had over 500 participants. I think we're gonna break that record with no problem this year. But we're giving away $100,000, $10,000 per charity. So it's exciting that we can do this. And again, I say it every week until the event here. Jay over at American Southwest Credit Union and Sean over at Lawley Automotive, thank you both for your partnership in this, and all our sponsors, and we'll get them out here real soon that make this happen.
And you can get your tickets if you want to go to the charity ride. It's November 5th at cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride, or you can just Google the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride, and that'll get you there.
And at the conclusion, we'll be giving out $300,000 on our charity rides in the last 10 years. So that's impressive. And thank you to our community sponsors to make it happen.
And they, if you are part of this, make sure you get in on the raffle, because I'm telling you, there's just over $24,000 of raffle prizes there. And if you register, you get a free raffle ticket. Please buy more while you're there, but take a look at the stuff that they have. It's just really, I can't even express how much that you can get off of one raffle ticket if you're the lucky winner. And you have much better odds than if you were playing the Arizona Lottery.
Yeah, come on down. If you don't want to participate in the event, I think you still can buy tickets for the raffle.
Mm-hmm.
We won't put you out on a dusty trail or on asphalt for the motorcycle, but come on down, spend your money. We'll take it. It goes to charity.
Do you have a stop of the week?
I do, and I was out with my border team yesterday, and a stop was made on a car for no registration by one of our deputies in that unit. Within minutes, he called for a secondary unit. I went over there. I was only a couple miles away, and this is over off Highway 80. Went up on the stop with the deputy. He advised me that the driver failed to provide any ID or driver's license. By state law, if you're stopped on a traffic stop by a law enforcement officer, you have to provide a driver's license, some kind of ID. That's a criminal offense if you refuse to. He refused to. He wouldn't roll his window down. Very defiant. And so I introduced myself, explained to him what the law was, what he had to do, and what the consequences would be if he refused, continued to refuse, which would be he goes to jail. He continued to refuse. There was a female in the vehicle that was very stoic. I'm just going to say it like that. She wouldn't look. She just kept looking forward. I tried to address her. He told me I can't talk to her. Bottom line, there was no compliance in this vehicle at all. We did our best to reason with this individual. He chose not to. At that point, I gave a directive. We broke the window, and he went to jail. He went to jail. Folks, don't put yourself in that position. If you feel like you're not being stopped properly or the officer didn't have cause, there's a process post the traffic stop that you can address. I mean, whether you want to speak to your attorney, whatever. But failure to comply with the direction from a law enforcement officer, like given ID or a driver's license, will put you in jail. I promise you that too. Again, we don't know what the scenario is. If the guy wanted, did he just kidnap this girl because she would not speak to us? We have no idea. And there's a reason why we investigate on traffic stops. So again, that was the stop of the week with the message that if you're stopped, you got to provide ID or a driver's license.
And before you go, invite everybody out to Cochise County football tonight.
Hope everybody tunes in tonight. We'll be at Buena as they host the Saguaro Cougars tonight. Pre-game at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe week.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Chief Adam Thrasher from the Sierra Vista Police Department, and he's going to talk about Faith in Blue.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest from an event that's happening tomorrow, Faith and Blue. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Grady.
So we have Chief Thrasher from the Sierra Vista Police Department and Bishop Simpson. Introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about yourself, Bishop.
Yes, I'm Bishop Simpson. I'm the presiding prelate, the pastor, senior pastor of the New Jerusalem Community Church here in the city of Sierra Vista, and also the bishop over the ministry nationwide. Actually, is one of the things that we're doing. So we're enjoying doing what God has called us to do here in the community. However,
and Chief Thrasher, kind of give us an introduction to yourself.
I'm the Chief of Police with Sierra Vista. I've been so for the last 6.5 years, and it's my pleasure to be here with you this morning.
And you guys are getting together for an event tomorrow called Faith and Blue. Tell us about that event.
Well, Faith and Blue is a nationwide movement. This is the Faith and Blue weekend, where law enforcement across the country gets together with members of the communities of faith to foster understanding and get to know each other and try to work together to deal with issues in their communities.
And what's going to happen at this event?
Well, at this event, we're intending to bring together the collaborative spirit between the local law enforcement, to include Cochise County Sheriff's Office, and also the various clergy representatives from across the community, to include the county. So we're going to be able to get together, talk about what we can do as a partnership here in the community, things that the community needs to see as it relates to how the faith-based as well as the law enforcement agencies work together to bring about a positive change in our community.
And you just kind of talked on that just a bit, but what is the end result for this entire event?
Well, I know I can't speak for Chief, but I'll talk about from the faith-based side. I know for us, we want to make sure that we're showing a unified relationship between what we do. There's a saying that the law enforcement use, protect and serve. We have to use that same collaborative spirit when we're talking about faith. We turn to God for our protective covering, but also serve, and that's what the faith-based community is here to do. We serve in this community to serve alongside of our partners, and that partnership is also our local law enforcement.
Chief?
Yes, and you can't provide for the public safety without the community's support and their help. And the purpose of this is to make sure that we are continuing to work with every group in our community to make sure that we are meeting their expectations, but also getting their help to make sure that the community is as safe as possible.
And this is the second year you have done this event. So is this going to be an annual thing? Are there more events like this?
We're hoping to do this more often, maybe on a quarterly or at least twice a year basis to do these things. And Faith in Blue doesn't have a set standard of what you have to do. There's many different things you can do. You can do community forums. You can have these get-togethers like this, all kinds of different ideas that we can do throughout the year.
And how can the community get involved with Faith in Blue?
Well, what we're asking the community to do, number one, is to show up, because that's really the strength of our community, is us showing up together to show that we support one another here in the community. The second thing we're asking the community to do, and I don't want to speak for the chief, but I will say I believe that we can both agree on this, that what we want the people to do is come out not only to show up, but also to show their strength, how they can also contribute to this community in various ways, i.e., we can also ask them to basically bring a canned good or so, if you will, to help strengthen our community food pantries. Another thing they can do, they can show up also to talk about some of the things in our community, how we can better our community. So we're looking for ideas. We're looking for ideas that the faith base along with the local law enforcement can bring together to better this community, because that's really the ultimate goal, is to bring about positive change.
I can't say it any better. He pretty much hits everything that I would like to say.
So why don't you invite everybody to tomorrow's event?
Come on out to tomorrow's event, Faith in Blue, from 10 to 1 at Tompkins Park.
And where is Tompkins Park?
It's on 7th Street and Buffalo Soldier Trail.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and this sounds like it's going to be a fantastic event, Faith and Blue, and we thank you both for coming and talking to us today.
We're very excited about it, and we're looking forward to the turnout of the community on tomorrow.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. It's First Watch on KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest from the Sierra Vista Police Department, we've got Lily and Tim Wachtel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's start with you, Lily. So you have something coming up called a Teen Talk. What is a Teen Talk?
So Teen Talk class is it's basically a class that we're hosting at the police department, geared towards middle and high school age students in the Cochise County area and their parents. It's a series that we started, and so we cover different topics at each class.
So last year, you guys started this last year,
yes.
I recall. So what is the topic this time going to be?
So this topic is going to be on drug awareness. We're going to talk about some of the current trends that are affecting our youth and our community here, vaping, THC, fentanyl, prescription drug abuse.
And this is for both kids and for parents, correct?
Correct. So it's an informational class, but it's also an open discussion forum. So there'll be opportunity to discuss the issues back and forth with the parents and the kids all together, start having these discussions together, and then hopefully they carry on after the class. Especially
since a lot of parents may not know what fentanyl is or looks like or what it does. This would be a great way to learn what to look out for.
Correct.
So when is this class going to be?
So this class is going to be on Tuesday, October 18th at 6 p.m. It's a 2-hour class, and it'll be held at the Sierra Vista Police Department at 911 North Coronado Drive.
And do you need tickets? Do you need to purchase anything?
No, it's free for everyone. The only thing we do require is that they go online and register. The easiest way to do that is just Google Sierra Vista Teen Talk. It should take you to a page on the city's website. There's a very quick registration form to fill out just so that we know how many people to expect. Seats are going to be filled on a first-come, first-served basis, so I have about 30 people registered right now, so if it sounds like something that you're interested, I would go ahead and get registered soon.
Give us the dates and location one more time.
So it's October 18th. That's going to be a Tuesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Sierra Vista Police Department in our auditorium, and that is located at 911 North Coronado Drive. It's free to attend, and we're inviting middle and high school age students countywide and their parents. We really encourage parents to attend with them. We'll have some light refreshments there, and it should be a good informational, educational evening.
Also in the studios with us now, we've got Sergeant Wachtel with the Sierra Vista Police Department, and you're here representing the DUI Task Force, which is going to be out and about this weekend.
Yes, sir. Benson Police Department gave me a call earlier this week, and they're hosting their Butterfield Rodeo this weekend, and so they contacted me, asked me if I can get hold of the task force to come up to Benson and basically just show our presence. So again, this Saturday, October 8th, the DUI task force will be in Benson from 7 o'clock until 3 a.m. On behalf of Benson PD to support them.
And you guys have been around a bit. You're in Douglas and in Tombstone. You guys have several events that the DUI task force goes to. So do you find impaired drivers at these events?
We do. We just got done with the Rux Allen Days this past weekend in Wilcox. We were able to make some DUI or impaired driving arrests. The weekend before that, we were in Douglas for the Cochise County Fair. We also had some impaired driving arrests. So unfortunately, when we host these details and we go to them, it's, we are finding them. And again, I'm here just to educate everybody. Just make a smart decision. Plan ahead.
There's a lot of different ways you could do this. You can have a friend, a designated driver. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's taxis. So many different ways to not get behind the wheel.
That's true. I mean, we plan ahead. I mean, whatever the situation might be, just plan ahead. But unfortunately, we still find those individuals who are making the wrong choice, and they come with us. So, again, I don't want this to happen to anybody up in the Benson area. Enjoy the rodeo weekend, but plan ahead.
All right. Well, we thank you both for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest, Miss Jackie Clay. Good morning.
Good morning. Wonderful morning.
Yes. Introduce yourself to us. Let us know who you are.
My name is Jackie Clay. I'm the Cochise County Superintendent of Schools.
And what does that job entail?
Well, it entails providing services to all the schools, all the public schools in Cochise County, to include our jail education, our detention education, and we also support our homeschool students as much as we can. We fill in the gaps as far as development, professional development. We also advocate for education up in Phoenix. Basically, we are an educational service agency, so we provide services to all of the schools in Cochise County, and we're also an ear for parents or community who may want to come and talk to us about recommendations or concerns in education. And a lot of times I will bring that person and get them in touch with whatever school district that they need to talk to. So sometimes I like to call us the glue in Cochise County that kind of keeps the educational system together.
And you also speak for our behalf at the state level.
Yes, absolutely, I do.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about a grant that is coming your way for mental health. Let's talk about mental health in the schools right now. How does it work if a kid needs some mental health help?
Presently, all the schools, they're doing well, but I'm going to say they need help. Presently, every school has their own procedures regarding mental health. Sometimes they go to NAMI, they go to CBIS, sometimes they go outside the county crisis to crisis teams, et cetera, et cetera. So they're doing well, but how awesome would it be that there is one place that they can go to if anything happened in the school?
Well, we're going to talk about that in just a moment, but first let's go back a little bit to everybody doing something different. This is also very expensive.
Oh, yes. We have one school regarding mental health services across the board. They're paying around $80,000 a month.
Wow.
$800,000 a year providing mental health services, and they are still across the board not able to hit everything that they need to, because unfortunately we have a lot of mental health issues, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that we need to put that on the top or put it on the plate and not be ashamed of it, but let's go ahead and figure out the best ways to service our community and to service our students and to service our staff.
Well, let's talk about some of the mental health issues. Can you kind of lay out what what some examples of what a student might be going through that they would need help?
Okay, as far as students, and let's talk about students and teachers there,
Sure.
because it's the same thing. We've had a couple of suicides in the last 5 years. We've had a couple of them, and sometimes we miss it. We may work the teachers very hard, and we don't see a change. And the same thing with our students. Some of the mental health issues with our students could be bullying. Okay, where do they go? Who do they talk to? Is there something in place? With some schools there is, and some schools there isn't. But you also have to realize that's just part of a school's responsibility. So here we go, filling in the gaps to help them with this. But you have bullying, cyberbullying, upfront bullying. There may be things going on at home that sometimes a teacher can catch, but a lot of times they don't. Abuse at home, suicides with students, the cutting, the drug abuse, that's one portion of it. And the other one is we have students who have special needs. They need psychologists, they need occupational therapists, they need speech therapists, they need counseling or counselors, these things. So, when you talk about this, it's two parts. One is to help students who may have issues like bullying, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have those students who actually need continued services because they're our special needs students. So we just put all of that in one, and we want to try to help.
So that's where this grant would come in. So kind of give us a picture of what the grant would do. And how much is it?
Our grant is $1.2 million. It took us around 2 years of continually putting in grants in different places, and thankfully and prayerfully, the Department of Education caught wind of it. We submitted it, and I'm telling you, I thought when they called me, I was ready to negotiate. Give it. And they basically funded the whole grant. So what we're asking for is the first year of the grant, we hire a director. That director's job is to be the glue, the cement in our county that has to do with mental health services. We're talking about getting together the crisis response team. We're talking about training and bullying and what's that word when you de-escalation in the classroom, et cetera. All these different trainings that the school, the teachers, and the students need. I call it preventive maintenance. All these different things that we want to put in place so that we'd have a really great, healthy school. One of the problems we have right now is that we have a lot of great outside organizations. We have NAMI, we have CBIS, we have a lot of different organizations, but they're all working in silos. And the schools are working with them individually. If we can bring all of this together under one roof, if that director's job is going to be to talk to these organizations, the person's job also is going to be going into all of the schools and doing assessments. What do you need before we do anything else? So we're going to do needs assessments in all the schools, bring all that information together, but at the same time, we're going to create relationships between the schools in our county and also between all of the mental health organizations in our county. And what we want to do is put together some procedures. The thing is, we have amazing, amazing schools. And our job is to support them and help them. And I feel that my job is to look out at the landscape and see those things that are similar across the board in all schools. And right now, it's mental health. So what she's going to do, so that first year, she's going to be doing all that work, building relationships, doing training, and working with the Sheriff's Department because they also have a mental health component. So we're going to be working with them also. The second year, we're going to be hiring people. Basically, we're going to hire eight additional people to form a mental health consortium. So what is a consortium? It is groups of the group of schools coming together and saying, we're going to put all our money into this pot for services. So instead of the schools paying 2 and 3 times more than maybe schools up north would pay, and that was another concern of mine. We had become the cash cow, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for that, but we have become the cash cow for a lot of organizations because they know these people aren't down here. So what we did was we found those people who can do those things, and we said, listen, would you like to work for us? Because if we can get this going, then we can charge our schools yellow page prices and not the inflated prices that they're paying right now, because they are paying inflated prices. And we have around 8 or 9 schools right now, charter and unified school districts, who are saying, Jackie, we are in. So once we get the director this year, the director will start talking to schools, getting all the contracts together, and we're going to go full-blown next year, giving those services that the schools need for their special needs students, because that's a gap. Schools are doing well, but some of them are struggling, and some of them, those prices are crazy. When I looked at some of the contracts, I wanted to cry. We need to take care of our own, and we have the people down here, and you know who you are. We have the people down here who can work for us to give those services to the school. So just know that I haven't brought this to the Board of Supervisors yet, and that's because even though the grant has been approved via email, they have to actually move that money. And once they move the money, then I take it to the Board of Supervisors and let them know what our plan is. Some of them already know a little bit about it, but let them know what the plan is.
And when will you be presenting to the Board of Supervisors?
Hopefully before the end of October. We're waiting again for the Department of Education to move those funds down here. Then we go and we go to the Board of Supervisors and we ask them to accept the funds for the county. And then we move forward.
All right, so that's the next step for that grant. You also have another grant headed your way from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
Through.
Yeah. The sheriff is receiving $1.3 million from the governor's office for school safety. Basically, here we go, another consortium. See, I'm going to tell you something. Cochise County, we're moving, our culture is evolving from everybody's in their own little world to we are interdependent, we are in one ecosystem, and we need to work together.
Yes. And
so this is another consortium where we're bringing the other schools together and saying, listen, we have this money, and Sheriff Daniels has graciously said, Jackie, I'm not going to tell you guys what you need. What do you need? And I, in turn, I have to say to the schools, I can't tell you what you need. What do you need? So myself and charter school leaders and superintendents of the unified school districts, we've been getting together and they're saying, okay, Jackie, let's look at this organization and look at what they have to offer, and let's look at this organization and see what they have to offer. And basically what we're looking at, what we need is an organization that's going to offer the suicide awareness and prevention training and emergency management suite. Emergency management suite consists of the sheriff and all of our public safety leaders knowing where all schools are and the map of all the schools. So they're going to get, all the schools will be mapped, and that will be sent to Central. So when if police officer has to go to a school, they will already have all the information before they get there of how that school look on the inside, where the exits are, where the cameras are, if the doors open frontwards or backwards. They will know all that information, but they will always have it. So this system that we're talking about, everything is going to be connected to the sheriff's office, which means it's going to be connected to all of our chief of police offices. And this is going to cover all the schools who want to be a part of it, from Portal to San Simone to Sierra Vista to Wilcox, and the charter schools also. As far as the private schools, you know, I love all schools, so I'm going to see if maybe the charter schools can join and pay some sort of fee. But it includes behavior health assessment training, suicide prevention training, ALICE, e-learning and on-site training, risk assessments. We're looking at a school tip line that will be connected to the school and to our sheriff's office. Basically, everything that we're doing is going to be connected to the sheriff's office, where that information is farmed out to everyone else. I think that this is going to be great. We haven't decided who we're going to go with yet, but the thing is, we're moving forward. We're evolving as far as mental health, and we're evolving as far as public safety and school safety. We can't do it overnight because it takes a lot of talking and validating and relationships and what do you need. We want these seeds to fall on fertile ground so that exponentially it will grow and it not be just another thing.
And you also have another program going on with your STEM garden, and I understand that you actually need some help coming up in the next week or so.
Yes, so STEM or STEAM.
STEAM, right.
A shout out for Charlotte Taylor, who said we needed to put the A in there.
Okay.
Okay, so STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and and math. So, of course, we've talked about this before. We received around $70K to create a garden in back of 4001 Foothills Drive. That's one of Sheriff Daniels' old stomping grounds.
Yes.
So in the back, you notice all of his vehicles are gone. So we're going to pay for somebody to get all the weeds out. And we've already brought 104 tons of gravel. That gravel has to be spread. 3/4 of the gravel has to be spread. Then we put in the irrigation system. Then we put the rest of the gravel down. Then we'll put our gazebos up, our koi pond, the technology we need, all the things, all the edible plants, the trees, the bamboo fence. We are just going to have a beautiful ambiance right in the middle of Sierra Vista, where any school can go to, and the teacher can have classes based on STEAM. But we're still in phase 1, ladies and gentlemen. I only have a staff of 6 or 7 people, and out of those, only 3 of them can get out there and help me. So for phase 2, I really need some help because the grant does not pay for labor.
Okay.
And we have all the gravel. It's out there, and we're looking at the 3rd week in October to start putting that gravel and spreading it out so we can go into phase 2. And we would appreciate any group. We'll feed you. We're going to have a barbecue. Okay, we'll feed you and hydrate you, but we really need a lot of help in this part of our garden.
So if they want to volunteer, what phone number can they call to get that done?
Please call 520-803-3380 and ask for Ben Reyna or Jackie Clay.
All right, give us that number one more time.
520-803-3380, or hit me up on Facebook, or you can email me. This is going to be great for our community. So let's go ahead and do this together.
Jackie Clay, we always appreciate talking to you, and when you come in, you always just infect the room with joy. So thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and everyone, I love you and have a wonderful week.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.